52. Autistic History and the Autism Wars. This is part 52 of a series. Jumping right back into Wakefield, testifying at this congressional hearing on autism back in April of 2000. And he had just shared, I am also here on my behalf, representing the children who have come to me for investigation. That's where we left off. After that, Wakefield launched into a presentation that utilized slides and a lot of circular talk. Round and round he went, gibberish and outright quackery for the rest of his testimony. It was absurd and bizarre. And it also seemed like he couldn't complete a thought, much less replicate it. Unfortunately, many of the doctors and professionals presented that day were followers of Rimland and Wakefield's autism belief system. And then, if that wasn't enough, another of Rimland's cohorts, of course, is Ivar Lovaas, pioneer of applied behavioral analysis, ABA. And Lovaas wasn't there that day to testify, but Rimland did speak to ABA in his testimony. Yeah, we're getting... And yeah, that's not even the genetics research side. So this is one of the fronts. Behaviorism is somewhere in this area between all of them. And then you have what they call at some point the Curebies, Curebies, Curebies over here that are going to be looking at genetics and yeah. So here we go. As a parent and full-time professional researcher, I am bitterly disappointed with the medical establishment's dismal record with regard to autism over the past 60 years. The medical schools as well as the government agencies have consistently supported outmoded, unproven, and even disproven ideas, including the one that autism was caused by refrigerator mothers who did not love their children, thus causing autism. Remember Bernard Rimland in the 60s and 70s joined up with Lovaas and parents and became an incredible powerhouse for autism and overturning the idea that refrigerator mother's theory. So here he is in the 90s, and his ideas have expanded on autism, and his power of parents around him, they are totally vested in his ideas and sources of autism and cures, and it's only expanded over these few decades. It's just wow. So the medical establishment was opposed to behavior modification. Or what is now called the ABA approach. So they said that this was not a way to treat autism because autism was based on deep-seated emotional problems. So a technique that is used to train animals cannot be used to improve autistic children, and that was untrue. They don't hide this stuff back in the day like they hide it now. They say it, and they're quoted. Oh gosh, Then Rimland gets to the point. Money matters. Tens of millions of dollars have been spent on productive lines of research, while virtually no money at all has been given to research on methods of alternative medicine, which are far more promising in terms of both safety and efficacy. 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 That's what I'm going with there. If the autism epidemic existed in the manner Rimland suggested, then the perceived increase in the autism prevalence would be caused by this new type of autism. The late onset or acquired autism triggered by something toxic in our environment would be the culprit for so many children becoming autistic during their toddler and preschool years. It was this new autism that Rimland and parents of this subset community of the autism community wanted investigated. They wanted investigated further, and they utilizing the budget for autism research that would be created by legislation if enacted. They wanted money for research by the millions and millions and millions. This is what they want. And this is why they silenced us. So we're going back to the autistic POV here, point of view, or including the autistic interactions with some of these conference originators for Hear Their Silence rally. So this section is titled A Day of Unity? ? In the email exchange between autistic advocate Laura Tysonik and parent of an autistic Carol Fusella, a Day of Unity as a theme for Hear Their Silence rally was discussed. Carol says, a Day of Unity, and lots of dots. Laura says, like I said, if you want unity, you have to make unity. You haven't made anything of the sort. You didn't even try. You just expected us to be silent. Carol, thank you so much for your non-support. What a slap in the face. Laura, it seems to me that you're the one who left out what autistics themselves want. You leave us out, you build your agenda around the very things that offend us the most, and then you say we aren't supporting you? Carol goes on, just one day, italics, lots of dots, afterwards, capital letters, T-O, to show how great and strong we are, united together, lots of dots. Oh shit, the gaslighting is intense, right? Laura states, we are not united. Again, you can't have unity without dialogue and compromise. In fact, it isn't even meaningful to say we because you never included us as a community in your plans. Your plans for us were to hear our silence. It's not hard to find autistic input. Wander over to ani.ac, and this would be Autism Network International online, for a start, and surf from there. You'll find plenty of us. We're big, we're lively, and we're connected. Alas, for the name of your march, we aren't silent. Carol writes back in italics, one day, dots, a moment in time, dots. Laura writes back, I'm not interested in being silenced by your agenda for one moment. I made my voice, as I called it, after being inspired by the civil rights movement. You can't speak out against injustice if you can't speak. You're giving me one more good thing to use it for. And Carol responds, I think you all missed the point. I'm so sorry that you missed mine. Lots of dots again. So I'm going to pick back up here in the next video. Thank you for exploring more autistic history with me.